Yes, Shuvabonim, Kavulam. Everyone return. TuBishevat Seudah.
We have to return to ourselves.
Amen. Are you elevated?
Elevation.
Elevation TuBishevat style. So, I was by my Rebbe last night, came back with a bottle of, you have to guess, was it whiskey?
Right.
Was it vodka? Was it coffee? Was it Coca-Cola? Or was it Marlboro? No. Was it wine?
Wine.
Very good.
Yeah, because it's TuBishevat, you think it's probably wine.
It's a beautiful bottle of wine from a good chevra. And thank you, Hashem. The Rebbe, in front of the whole Olam, called me out and mentioned us. When he mentioned me, I wasn't thinking of myself. I was thinking of my wife, my son. My wife's been doing Mada in a difficult situation, and even though she's not in the greatest state, but she's pushing herself to go to Magen Adom. And my son, apparently yesterday, the message we got back, we usually just get back from the army that they're okay. But yesterday we got a message back that they've been very much liach with their missions, and the army's very happy with them.
Wow. His specific unit?
His specific unit. I mean, they're getting that every so on. That's why they've gone up a few dargot. They've gone up a few levels.
What does he do?
He's a paratroop unit 101, but they've joined up with other combat units like Yalom, Okets,
He's like going into the thick of things.
Yeah, they've moved up, and they're with those people, and they're guarding those people, and the high level combat units. So, Baruch Hashem. So there's a certain hamtaka right now, even though we've gone through some really painful days. It's been difficult for me personally in different ways, but there's a certain sweetening going on to Bishvat, which Mr. Hashem will be manifesting in lots of brachas, and also part of the Parsha Shavua. We're finally going out Mitzrayim, Shvi Shal Pesach. You know, we're leaving our enemies. Our enemies are getting smashed to pieces, and the Shefa, the Man, the Bizas Hayam. There's a lot of good energy in the world right now, and to be learning this Perek and Tanya, Perek 2, the second Perek, chapter 2, Perek Sheni, is very, very chashuv, because it sort of clarifies, not sort of, it does clarify a very big confusion for our generation, and reveal the truth of who we are as a nation, as a people. And I think if we learn it with the right Sata Deshmaya and Simcha, the TuBishevat, this time of year, is preparing us towards Purim, Katan Purim, Gadol, 2 Adders this year. It's the Ibul. There's a lot of potential in this time period. Extra time to prepare for Pesach, Gula Samech Legula. So there's a lot of Hashbaz Tovus, and we just need to be a vessel to receive this light. We're learning Torah from the biggest tzaddik in Somayach of the last 300 years in terms of Chassidus, and it should give us the koach. I already made a bracha with lchaim. So let's go. With Hashem's help, we should have the kalim and elevate those fruits that you ate last night. And please God again today. Let's go. So we got to this idea. So this is crucial. There are loads of different levels of souls. Rank upon rank, Kates. You know how important this is? I don't want to fall down again before we've even started, but just this one line. If you would look at Am Yisrael that way, and you'd look at the way we do everything with those eyes of a tzaddik who sees all different kinds of neshamas, he doesn't see, the levush, the clothing that the guy's walking in. He sees the potential. He sees the truth, the soul inside. This is the point. Is all these levels, and then all those different levels give us ability to find ourselves, because it's going to be unique to us. It's an individual. Remember, Rav Shlomo Katz said something very chashuv yesterday, that we all need to become our own Rebbe nowadays. Mm-hmm. And even though Hasidim weren't so happy when certain Rabbanim said that a bunch of years ago, nowadays you probably can get away with it. Because my Rebbe himself has pushed me to go that way, to believe in myself, and my wife to believe in herself, and to make decisions with our life, and to trust ourselves. He's pushed us in that direction, and encouraged it, and even it's been difficult, but he's always pushed that path of us becoming our own Rebbe, because it's much easier for us to just make him the Rebbe of our decisions. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe on a panemius level, that's what the tzaddik is. That he's the one who's really guiding us all. He's the Rosh B'nai Israel. But this, and however that manifests as my Rebbe or your Rebbe or whoever it manifests in as a physical person, but there's a panemius Rebbe within all of us. The point is we have to find that. And sometimes it looks like the way the Rebbe makes it in our door, like we're becoming the panemius Rebbe.
That's what Parshas Yisro is about.
Yeah, we're going to get there next week.
Creating your own.
So he's even going to give us some. He's going to give us some insight. Who are these? Very good. Who are these levels, and what Kamo Gadol, Milas, Neshamas, Avos, V'Moshe Rabbeinu Olav Shalom. So it's very important to put into context that there's big neshamas from all the generations. Specifically, the biggest Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Yeah, they are the greatest neshamas for all the Doris, all the generations. Moshe Rabbeinu. They're the leaders. They're the Rosh of Am Yisrael, the head. I would say the heart level would be David HaMelech and Shlomo Melech, and then all the way down to the Ikvus to Mashiach is us. Yeah, if you're going to map out human history in terms of the Adam Kadmon, this Adam, this full body of humanity, all the neshamas are spread out through humanity. There's the generation, the Dor Deh, the head, and then there's the heart, the Beis Hamikdash, and then there's the our generation, the Ikvus to Mashiach. Yeah, the hill steps of Mashiach. So this is a concept, but the idea that Moshe and Avos, they are like obviously the huge neshamas. The superiority of souls, it translates here. I don't know, different translations over here.
Yeah, the superior quality.
Yeah.
Of the souls. That one was good quality, they're saying.
Yeah. And then it goes, he doesn't bring up...
Israeli plastic.
Yeah, definitely. He doesn't bring up... it's actually from China, a lot of that stuff.
Oh, yeah?
He doesn't...
Well, why can't we find the same manufacturer in China as in America does?
No, because look what happened to BlackBerry. They managed to find manufactured in China, a complete failure.
Yeah.
And they lost everything. So you have to be careful over there. It's better, like as Trump always says, make America great again. Start bringing business back. And I don't know how he got in here, but I suppose he's a neshama of the Ikvus to Mashiach.
Right.
He definitely has a neshama because he's got grandchildren who are Jewish.
Right.
So he must have been Zocher
for
somehow.
some reason, I feel like he's like a reincarnation of like Achashverosh.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, he's a reincarnation of something.
Like, because Achashverosh in the story of
married
Purim,
Esther, yeah. Well, I don't think his wife is Esther, but
he was like a little bit of like
his daughter, maybe.
Like it feels like he turned to the good side.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, look, Achashverosh wasn't a tzaddik, so
it definitely wasn't a tzaddik. No. That was like one of the big misconceptions.
You know, one of the things, the beautiful thing, we're going to get to Purim. We're going to get to Purim Torahs. And funny enough, we had a shir here last night. And Hilchos Avelis, it wasn't funny, but it was actually very sad. It was talking about levayas and burials. But it came out in the shir a lot of Purim Torah. It was interesting. Obviously, all of us needed to sort of let off steam of everything going on recently. And so there's a lot of Purim Torah within the shir. And someone said, yeah, because it's Lamed Yom Kodem Achag. So we said, wait a minute, that's Purim Cotton. But that shows you Purim Cotton already is affecting us already. The smaller Purim, Tovle Mishtatam, it is here. And we're having a certain connection. Now, interestingly, Achashverosh is Achris Koracious. It's the same Lashon, Achris and Rosh. Right. So it's bringing the Achristic neshamas, the end of days neshamas, till the Rosh, till back to what we're talking about now, Moshe and Avos, Moshe Ben and Avos. The whole tikkun of all the doris is Achris Koracious, to bring the end of day souls back to the Rosh. Mm-hmm. And that's what the Ikvus to Mashiach was going to say now. Yeah, everything connects. What we're talking about, even we mentioned what's his name? Eded the Ikvei Mashiach Shehem Bechinas Akvayim Mamish. Yeah, the Gabi Hamoach Varosh. And this is so deep. You could just sit with this line again, another line. Every line so far has been a Kabbaldik. Yeah, these are klalim in Chassidus. The idea that Ikvus the Mashiach, this is the aspect of Ikvayim Mamish. Like the soles of the feet, the Gabi Amach Harosh. What does that mean? So I already told you what it meant when I mentioned this concept that I've learned many times from people like Rav Moshe Wilson and other Tzaddikim as a Tal. The idea that it's all based on Tanya and Panemius, Rav Sodek. Yeah, the idea of Sodek Cohen brings it a lot. The Ikvus de Mashiach is a very big cloud, the body of humanity, and it's brought from Chazal. Not just Kabbalah. Chazal brings us in Shas, this idea of Ikvayim, that we are the Ekev, which presupposes, is that correct?
Right.
English? I don't know. Presupposes that there's a Rosh, and what's the Rosh? Is Avram Yitzchak, Yaakov, Moshe, Aaron, or Moshe for sure, Moshe Rabbeinu. These are the Rosh, and they're the head that guide this body of humanity, of souls, till the Ikvayim, till our generation was the Ikvus, the Mashiach. So you have to understand we're working together in all of history. So when we look at our generation, we shouldn't look at our generation as just this low sort of lost souls, no leader. We have leaders. It's just panemius. It's this panemius truth of Ikvayim, that we are Ikvayim, but we're connected to the Rosh, which is the
Sounds like a
Somayach
little bit of a
Av.
diss here.
Why?
They're trying to say, "Kamosh kasav kulam b'chachma asisa al nashmas der zersusen alek v'demashicha."
Yeah.
Shem b'chinas kevayim
Yeah,
mamish.
the Chochmah part was the previous story about the Mekabalim, but it started v'af she'esh rabba v'esminei. Okay, just to make sure you.
Oh yeah, okay, you're right.
Sorry, I just want to make sure we're on the right place. That's where we started today.
This is over here. Oh,
Yeah.
Kamo Gadol.
Yeah.
Malam. How did that end up there? Kamo Gadol Malan Shmas Avos Moshe Rabbeinu Aleim vshalom. I'm just there saying like,
I want to understand
whatever it says. Shem b'chinas akvayim mamish lagave ma'acharash.
Okay.
Just saying like we're like the feet compared to the souls of the previous generations, which were
You're right.
head,
I mean, this is Chazal. This is based on Torah's Anista. This is everything. So it's a reality. Whether it's a diss or not, it's a reality. And I hear what you're saying, because where are the feet? They're inside these smelly shoes that are touching the floor. And who's on the floor? Is the Nachash, is the snakes, is all the Nisyonis of all the Doris, is in our generation. So Shem Shemena. So
back then, feet probably were disgusting.
Yeah,
Today, we
for
have
sure.
like socks
and it's the dead skin that
just-
comes off the feet. It dries. It gets
have,
hardened.
They don't have proper footwear.
So Sadiq can
back
talk
then.
about the only stimulus we get, and we see this nowadays, and that's why there's this whole social media, AI, sex robots, Hashem Shemenu. It's all stimulation. It's all like titillation. It's nonsense. It's things that we busy with. All this dopamine rubbish they talk about. Bring us out. They couldn't make a dopamine rush or this nonsense. They were making vomit.
Dopamine Russia.
Yeah, exactly. Russia. That's what it will make him. So a lot of the stuff that stimulates us is because we're like dead skin. So we need, like, you take a feather. Rabbi Kiva Tatz once said this. You got it from Moshe Shapiro. You take a feather and you tickle the feet. That's the only thing that's going to, if you stick a pin, it's not going to do much. It's hard skin, real hard skin. But then you tickle it, then it will feel it. So silly little things stimulate our generation, but not the real life, real experiences. So the point is that you're right, it's a diss on a certain level, but it's actually a reality check to know where we're at. But we're holding up all of history. The whole of history of humanity stands on our feet. With Ikvayim, if we are holding up everything that all the Tzaddikim did was just for our generation. It's very important to understand the nitzchus of Torah, eternity of Torah. I've heard this again and again from Moshe Wilson, from Tzaddikim. This is a cloud that everyone needs to walk around with. This Rav Sodek. It's real Amunah in the Torah Kedosha. That the Torah is nitzchus, is eternal, and it's talking to our generation. And all the Tzaddikim had in mind, everything they did was for our door. Right. They were everything, like Rabbi Nachman, and I know Tanya, and then you go all the way back to Avram Yitzchak Yaakov. They were busy with all the Shepselah, when Yaakov was busy shepherding all these neshamas. He was having in mind the Ekev Ason, this Ikvus, the Mashiach the souls, and that we would be able to bring the Gula Shlema, we would bring all the hard work they did for us. So we could gather it together and crown Hashem as king. So we're bringing back the Ikvayim, the Achris Karashis, bringing it back to the Rosh, because we're crowning the king. We're putting the crown on the Rosh. This is like where we're at. We're Kesem Malchus. We are the purpose of everything they did. All the Doris and all the generations, all the Tzaddikim, all the Ritzonis. And that's what we're walking around with. We think we're walking alone. They're like this Nebuch soul sitting with these phones. It's just us, and it's just you and me and these phones, and like all these klippers of Shem Shemenu, and all these negative voices, you need to be more matzliach, you need more money, you need a bigger house, you need all this negativity that hits us all day, So we think we're by ourselves. No, we've got all the doris, all the tzaddikim. When all these people come to attack us, these terrorists, they're coming like, I don't know what skills they have, maybe Ishmael, maybe one or two Zaydas somewhere, prayed a little bit and helped someone.
Right.
Yeah, but we've got like all the tzaddikim with us. Every soldier that goes into war, he's got all the schos avos coming with him. Schos imos. It shouldn't. The fear panemius. No soldier should ever get killed. We should just be winning this war completely derech miracles, like we have many times.
Amen.
And I don't know why right now we're not winning it completely miraculous as well. I don't know why we're not zocher. It's a big sign for us, because on a panemius level, that's the truth of who we are. So it's just a matter of like us tuning in more into that truth. And then we want Hashem Himself will do the wars for us. It says in this week's parsha, we just have to remain silent and let Hashem do the miracles for us. He'll fight this war for us. The more we get out of the way, this my Rebbe said many times, the Mashiach will come. All it is about us getting out of the way. The only thing holding it back is us. We just need to get out of the way. Not the goyim, not anyone. We just need to get out of the way. Mashiach's here. It's just a matter of us getting out of the way. That's how my Rebbe explains it many times. But the idea, because that's panemius of the truth, that's the mitzias. It's not some spiritual mumbo jumbo, like you're hearing how to elevate yourself or whatever. It's Hashem opening up the truth that we have this kind of neshama that goes all the way back to Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, and Moshe, and we're walking around with that. Because what does he say? Let's read it again. Shehem bechinis ukvayim mamish lagabi moyach v'harosh. V'chol dor v'dor yesh roshei alfa Yisrael shenmerseim hem bechinis rosh v'moyach lagabi nishmas hamon v'amei aretz. And the gift is, he creates this formula in every generation of this human form, Salam Elohim, godly image, that in every generation there'll be Rosh Neshamas. There's going to be a lchaim Kanievsky, Zatzal, and then after him there'll be some other tzaddik. I don't know. You can start listing off Moshe Weinberg, whoever it is. It's your Rosh. Yeah, that Rosh, what told the Rebbe, whoever the Rosh is, they're going to be in each generation, and they're going to guide us. Yeah. And they're going to.
Shlomo said this yesterday.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like today we have anybody.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it, but according to the Tanya, there are souls who are the category of Rosh and Somayach in comparison for the rest. So remember, if we're very low, like we're very lost, so compared, the way I understand it, like when people used to call me Rebbe in yeshiva, or Rebbe or Rabbi or all this stuff. So when I was teaching for years in all these yeshivas late at night and in the day and all this, there's years and years of working with Bachrim and stuff. They always just call me that. And I say, look, such a generation that you're calling me rabbi. You know where I was like 5 years, 10 years ago? I was in some nightclub, I don't know what. That you're calling me a rabbi. Yeah, there's such a generation. They're like, but that's the point. It's all a filador. And with the Ikvayim, we're the lowest level. So, but the point is that there'll still be a Rosh, there'll still be a guy they'll call rabbi. For whatever reason, whatever he was like to call rabbi, that he taught them a little bit of Torah, or he gave them some time and love, or he actually knew Torah, he actually was holding in Torah, at the feed the door, and able to help people, guide them. Yeah, and that's the Rosh in that time, in that way. Yeah, I mean the fact that people would even phone me up and want to help me with their relationship issues, I don't claim any wisdom in that. It's my wife who's the one who's giving me any wisdom, understanding of these issues. So, but I'm just relaying her wisdom. But the point is that I'm just saying it's such a door. Yeah. נשמסיהם הם בחינס ראש, המוח לגבי נשמס המון ועם הארץ, וכן נפשס לגבי נפשס, כי כל נפש כולה ונפש רוח נשמה. And likewise the distinctions. This is what you have to realize. Every generation is going to be a nefesh, a ruach, and a shama. There's going to be all these different madregas we were mentioning before. For every soul consists of a nefesh and ruach, and each person has his own level of nefesh, ruach, and shama.
Right.
So there's going to be a general understanding of levels of souls within each generation, and within each person there's level of souls.
Mm-hmm.
So when we start to look at now, we look at the individual himself, he has within him all these levels. That's what's so deep.
Right.
And remember, within each level, there's levels and levels. Like we have Suras Home is a good example. You have Chesed Shebechesed, and then you have Chesed Shebemalchus, and then you have what connects Chesed Shebemalchus to the next. It just connects then to Gevurah Shebechesed, and then also Chesed Shebegevurah, and then all the way down to Malchus Shebegevurah, and then you get to once you're Malchus Shebegevurah, then you get to Chesed Shebeteferes, and then you go all the way down through that levels back to Malchus Shebeteferes, and then connects in. So I'm just saying, there's this whole constant sphere, this whole panemius of madregas and madregas, of levels of souls, of nefesh, ruach, and shama. Within each level, there's all those levels. there's 10 levels within those 10,
Yeah.
and it's deeper and deeper until you get to a human being with his individual midas and neshama, and according to the osius of the Torah and his name and his shlichus, it gets deeper and deeper as you start going into these concepts. And you see, this is part of the simchas lchaim of life, of getting to know yourself and getting to know other people, that each person is kolel nefesh ruach neshama kol moch. And it says, now this is really important. Kol nefesh kulen v'nefesh ruach neshama. Mikol mochem shorish kol nefesh ruach neshama kulam arosh kol madregas. Yeah, they're all included in the Rosh of all the madregas. Ad sof kol adagin abushim beguf amaret shekabet shebekam nimshach memarach elyon shu chachma ilah kivyochum kamosho haben nimshach memarach av shafilus upone raglav nishavu metipazu mamish. Aydei shahaisa tisha chadoshim bebeten aim yoda madrega lishtanis lishavam memenu separnim im kolzeh adenu kashur b'miyuchedes b'yichud nifla va'otzim emhusa v'atzmusa rishon shaitza b'tipas marach av gam achshav b'ben ninikis separim chayisim nishachis memarach shabosh mekadei Gemara, and it brings the Gemara. Okay, before we get to the Gemara, so this whole, now listen, this like mind blowing, yeah. So we have all these levels of souls, and then it goes on to say, nevertheless, the root of every nefesh and ruach, mikol mochem, the root of nefesh, ruach, and neshama, from all the highest to the lowest, being souls embodied in to the ones who don't know much, yeah, in the Amorites, that's what they call the illiterate, yeah, avakal shabakalim, this is the light-minded Jews, yeah. I'm not going to say who they are, I don't know, maybe that's where we are, I don't know who those guys are.
You won't point fingers.
Yeah, exactly. The most important part is everybody is derived from this supreme chachma, supreme mind, from this from this chachma ilah. We're all coming from this Somayach.
Right.
So this is the panemius of Klai cells. We're all connected to the Rosh. We're all connected to the place where the highest level of panemius of kedusha chelik alakam imam mamish.
Ilah.
Yeah, this high level of wisdom, the supernal wisdom, if you want to call it that, or supreme mind. K'moshu ben, and he gives a mashal that the son comes out from the brain of the father, and even the nails. Yeah, nails is something very quite, there's a lot to nails, but the point here is the nails is the most on the lowest part of the person is the part that comes off. You cut the nails, yeah. They externalize from the goof, just like the hair. Yeah, exipani raglav nishavu metipazu mamish. Even the nails on your feet, yeah, they come from the very same drop of semen of tipa zomamish that created you, from which came out from the father's brain.
Yeah.
Aidei shahaisa tisha chadoshim bebeten aim, by being in a mother's womb 9 months. Yod madrega, and changing continue until even the nails are formed from it. Lishtanis, the savis, memenus upon him. So you get these nails that are formed from this development inside the beten, inside the womb.
Right.
That's what's happening in there, and it's physicalizing. Yeah. At the same time in the womb, remember you're learning all the Torah from a malach, but nevertheless, he's talking about the physical aspect. Your physical, all these levels you're coming down from this soul level to body.
Right. Okay, so now this makes a little bit more sense to me. It sounds like the Tanya is just explaining the idea of Chilik Elokaim, but he attacked it from a very specific point. He was trying to say that there are souls that are on the top. You have the Moshe, not on the top. You have like the Moshe in every generation. You have the Moshe. Rosh. You have the Rosh. Hanashamas, and then you have the people all the way in the bottom. Yeah. People who are like Erev Rav, as we call, right?
Well, he didn't bring that. He didn't use that word.
No, but we'll just call it that. We'll call it the people who are.
I don't know.
It seems as if the
I wouldn't call anyone Erev Rav because it's actually, according to Zohar, quite a problem. What happened with Moshe, including the Erev Rav in our people.
Right.
It gets problematic. Whereas the Amorites, Shabbat is much a better option, because even if they're seemingly on some level ignorant, there's some sort of din of less Torah knowledge and wisdom, but they still have a shaykhus to the body of Klai Yisrael in the pure sense. There's this pure transition Whereas the Erev Rav, it's more complicated. Like we have to learn about that another day from the Zohar Kodesh. What and other Svarim. Who are these people that Moshe Rabbeinu decided to bring up from Egypt and created the Egel Zav and apparently we're still dealing with them now, all the way till now. The same people who are always like confusing us. Maybe. Yeah, probably that I would guess that guy Yoav Nahari, whatever his name is, probably connected to them. Like if I could choose someone, probably also. There's a few. There's one in Israel, there's one in America. There's probably one or two of these guys. And they're confusing
Jews
people.
For Palestine.
Yeah, it's not just even political. They're confusing. Like I was just listening to Ben Shapiro yesterday, and he was saying how there's become like a new way of thinking that you don't have to have any of the old systems and structures.
Right.
To the point where these philosophers make it as if, and one of them is Israeli. You don't even have to have like the concept of marriage or the Torah or anything that's any stories of history don't really matter anymore. It's sort of creating this new false reality that you can just live in and decide yourself. Yeah. It's like this ultimate bechira that these guys are coming up with, and it's so confusing. One of my friends said in England he listens to audiobooks, and everyone wants to listen to this one guy's book. I don't know whatever it's called. Yeah, I've forgotten the name. I'd rather let's just pretend we don't know what it is, even if we know. So he has this book, and he was listening to it, and he suddenly said, "Wait a minute! If I carry on with this, like bye tefillah and Yiddishkeit, so I'm not listening to it anymore." He literally told me I stopped listening to it as soon as I saw how negative it was going to impact my life. Even if there's some interesting points there, it's not like he's a Russia Gomer, as far as I know. I hope he isn't. Yeah, the Arab, remember, it's a mix of good and bad. That's why there's such a problem. It's this bilbo, of good and bad. Whereas the Amaretz is just, which is most of Klal Yisrael is maybe not Amaretz, but or Kalim or whatever level it is. Let's not define Am Yisrael. Am Yisrael are Halik, but the point are holy. But the point is that there's a lot of Am Yisrael that don't know much, meaning that's why they can fall to the prey to this kind of nonsense that this guy's putting forth. Yeah. So then those people, they still connect to the Moach Ha'av. They still connect to the Tipa. They all come from a Tipa that went back to a Tipa, which went back to a Tipa, to the original thoughts of Tzaddikim, who brought down these Neshamas all the way back to Avinu, to Yaakov Avinu. We all come from the same source, right? Which is pure, and it has Kedusha and Tahara, and it has a Chelek Elokai, Mamal, and right. It's a godly soul.
Right, yeah, that's the idea. This idea here with being in the womb.
And then coming back down now to describe a specific child, right. That each one is so it's been altered. He says, Im kol zeh odenu keshua miyuchedes b'yichud nifla v'asim mahusa atzuma arishon shaita tipas marchav. So still bound, united in oneness, mighty unity, beautiful Lashon here, which is original essence, being namely the drop of semen that came from the Father's brain. Because that is amazing unity concept, that it's all unified within this original thought of this tipa, this soul that came through the mayach of the Father. Yeah. So even the son, the nails receive their nourishment and life in the brain that is in his head. Yeah. By the way, I put up our class and it wasn't going up on Spotify for a while. I had to get first in touch with customer service. They then sent me to a high level customer service, like more technicians. And they never told me the reason why. They said it was some audio issue, but I have a feeling it was also because the content, it was pretty strong. The end of the first chapter, what it said about Robbins and all these guys, they're not really doing it for Hashem, kind of thing. So I felt like I got blocked. I mean, maybe even it didn't happen with their intention, but it got blocked. But I pushed and tried different ways until, thank God, it's up now. And there was one other thing I did. I used an image on a different class I gave to the Kizmaran of the guys, and it got blocked. Maybe the image was a bit controversial. I think it was a combination of those two things, the content and the image.
Say we're extremists.
Yeah, but nevertheless, it still made it. So it's there now. So but the truth wins out in the end. But you just need to push. Don't give up. Even now in the sun, and life on the brain is in his head. So it's amazing. And then this son has in it also a mayach, and will have tipas that will bring down the shamas, and they'll have also grow in the womb and have nails that will grow out from that original thought. Yeah, this low level nail all the way down by the feet. So it's all connect. The idea of miyached, this this soul from all the levels, it all goes back again. It's like this circular, panemius reality that you're the Rosh, and now you're the lchaim, and then you're the back again, you're the Rosh, and now it comes out from you, new lchaim with nails, with feet, and you're constantly creating these higher, lower levels of revelation, but it's all one. It's all unified in this original.
Right. It's ultimately like it's all like almost like coded with the same. I mean, it is. It's coded with the same.
It is physically and spiritually even more so. Yeah. And the point is, what it does is that it gives us the truth that no matter what level a person's on, is always miyachid in the. So you have a lowest level Jew, a guy, a fat dude who's just fressing all day and doesn't do any Yiddishkeit come out. He's still just as much one on this panemius level as the big tzaddik with the giant, chassidus and beard and everything, who knows so much Torah. On this panemius level, they all go back to the same shorish.
Right.
Just manifests in this world different, but it doesn't take away the unity, the panemius unification that's within.
Yeah, the idea would be like it's like imagine if I said to you, what's more of you? Is your toe more of you, or is your brain more of you? And someone might say their brain, but I would say that maybe you feel like it's more of you.
Yeah.
But like from a DNA perspective, your toe is just as much your DNA, your ikar.
Yeah.
As your brain.
And the amazing thing is, the Gemara Somayach agrees with this. Yeah, we're going to see the Gemara now. Hold on. Keda'es of Gemara Nida Sham Luven Shememano Gidim Vatsumas Siparnim. From the right of the father's drop of the semen are formed the veins, the bones, the nails of the child. These are all white. Luben is like the white.
Right.
So that white aspect of the father contributes is forming the white aspect of the human, the veins, the bones, the nails. That's the atzmas Yosef, the bones of Yosef.
Right.
Yeah. So that in the end, that's how he's described. Why isn't he described as the body of Yosef? So there's different reasons. The one I heard recently stood out. I think it's from the Zer Shimshon. Should be a shout out to Zer Shimshon. Learning tonight, Mr. Shem. The idea of Zer Shimshon. So he says that it comes out this atzmas Yosef because there was kibbud ava'im. But his kibbud ava'im was not so simple because he was in Mitzrayim.
Yeah.
So it's actually a musa to all the generations, atzmas, that you didn't fully, because you said Od Yosef Chai, Od Avinu Chai after you said Ani Yosef. You didn't, first you said Ani Yosef and then you said Ani Avinu, you should have said Ani Avinu Chai, Ani Yosef.
Right.
There were certain moments where he didn't get the order right and how to honor his father, subtle things. So then all the generations after he was taken out of Mitzrayim was in this week's Parsha even Asmitz Yosef, the bones of Yosef, because the bones come from the father, and he should have honored his father first. So when we know him, to fix it, we know him as Asmitz Yosef, because that's the chelik that comes from the father. It's a whole Torah Parshas B'Shalach. Anyway, the point is, I mean not Parshas, but anytime you see Asmitz Yosef, yeah. Keda'esu Gemara Luban Menu Gedim V'atzmus V'Separim V'atzomos V'Separim K'mo Shekosa Be'etz Chaim Shah Chashmal V'Sod Levushim Shah Adam Rishon B'Gan Eden. And then he jumps and flies away from the Gemara, from Nida to the Eitz Chaim Shah Chachma. It's also said that with the Escholi principle of Adam's garments in Gan Eden, Shah Separim B'chinas Marach Tavuna. Like what you just said, that the nails from the cognitive faculty of the brain. They derive from the same thing. Exactly what you just said. Yeah, that's from the Zohar. So you tuned into it.
Right, he was
he was sort of saying it anyway, but
he was just like a giant nail man.
No, but it doesn't matter how it physically manifests, because you could say you're a giant brain also.
Right.
It doesn't make a difference how it physically you describe it. The point is it's the same shorish, same panemius, same makor, same root. And what is so beautiful about this Gemara before is if you take this concept, so what does the mother contribute? She contributes the dam, the blood, the fats, and what does Hashem give? The neshama.
Right.
So there's three partners in every person: a father, mother, and Hashem. He doesn't bring the whole Gemara because we're focusing on the father here, because the father is more. I don't know why, but I mean the Swara I would say as a guess, he's focusing on the father's contribution, and when he brings this Gemara, because it's this concept of this white, this tipa rishon, this drop is the initial force that creates all the way down to the nails. It's most depicted the most. Whereas the woman's contribution is a different nakuda.
Yeah.
So, but nevertheless, she's a partner, and Hashem's giving the neshama through it all. And this is one of the important concepts when you learn about Seder night and Pesach. You get a new neshama every Pesach. How does it manifest? Because this is beautiful Torah from Shimshon Pinchas.
Yeah.
When you eat the matzah, you're getting the moyach, you're getting the mochin. That's the white. When you're drinking the wine, you're getting the basar. That's the flesh, the yain. That's the red. What the mother gives. So the father is the matzah. Avram Yitzchak Yaakov. There's 3 matzahs. The mother is the wine. There's 4 imahos. Saruf Rocholeh. There's 4 cups. And then what does Hashem give you? The neshama. That's the Haggadah. That's the whole sipur of Yosef Shrine. That gives you your neshama for your year, which has come through the emunah that you by saying the Haggadah. That's a beautiful Torah from Shimshon Pinchas about how they manifest Leil Seder, this concept. Every year we get like renewed.
Right.
And then we go out Shrisha Pesach the Yom. Okay, let's go.
Right.
So he's saying here, Sheim Zapanim Bechinas Malchut Tavuna. The nails derive from the cognitive aspect of the brain.
Right.
Vita.
It was like a very specific way that the Baal Tanya chose to like depict how we're the chelik alikai mimal. Like he really took a very interesting route.
Yeah.
A very interesting route, but nonetheless the
I mean, you just look at his picture and you can sort of see it. You know?
Right, yeah.
You see him like looking upwards into his huge brain.
Right.
It's Moyach Av, you know?
Exactly.
It's like drawing. He's just
drawing
Chabad, Chochmah Bina Das. Like it fits the derech. Like it fits the whole Panemius. It's a focus on the higher level intellect. It's bonus. Yeah. Kacha Mamish Kiviyochu B'Shoish and Nefesh Ruach Neshama Shel Kolas Yisrael Lamayla. Exactly so in the case with regards to every Nefesh Ruach Neshama in the community of Israel on high. So it's amazing. So every soul is transformed from that drop of semen. Right. From world to world. There's this descent from the supernal wisdom to the human body. And everyone is shorished in this supernal descent. We all have this connection. It's beautiful. He says anything interesting there?
What, here?
Yeah.
I was just reading it. Descends rung by rung.
Rung by rung. Called Simsumim. Yeah.
The change. Atzilos, Beria, Yetzira, and Asiya.
I was always looking for one word, transmigration, but people say that's not the right word.
Transmigration?
No, that's not the word. It's like this descent by descent. Seder Shtarshalis. All these concepts. There's bringing down this all the way through. The chain-like order of descent. That's the translation it brings here. It's this slow, not slow. This is not about time. It's the process of descents from the highest all the way down to the lowest. Let's map it out. I'll just throw you some words, and it just maybe just helps. Oh, he's going to do it now. Yeah, let's read it. It's going to do it for us. So I don't need to do it. We read this Midrosa Medrega LeMedrega Aide Shtashles Alamas Atzilis Bria Yasir Asir Machoch Masa Yisbarach. So it's saying the Chochmah of Atzilis, which is the highest world, Etzel, it's like next to Hashem. They call it in English emanation, but that doesn't mean anything. The Atzilis, coming from Chochmah, goes through to Bria, which is it would go through the Chochmah of Bria, through Malchus to Bria would go into the Chochmah of Yetzirah, through the Chochmah of Yetzirah would go all the way down to the Malchus of Yetzirah into the Chochmah of Asiyah, and that will go all the way down to the Malchus of Asiyah when you get this child come out of the womb. Right. So it's this whole descent, this light, this awe, the spirituality of Mayach all the way down to the Ekev. Right. What's the makor? It says in the pasuk, I made everything with wisdom. So every single level, every single human comes back to Chochmah. Kayach ma. That's a big cloud in Chassidus. Kayach ma. I'm going to get into it. What is my anachnu ma? What are we? So it all comes back to Chochmah. Chochmah is this initial seminal spark of creation.
It was just in that little. It's funny because it's accidentally read from there, but this Haggaha. Yeah. Also, that's when he was talking about the
Yeah, it's connected.
Over there, he was also talking about the idea of kulam. He ended it with kulam chachmach.
Yeah, he brought the pasuk. Right, you're right. So you actually read the right thing, actually, because he got to it eventually also.
Yeah.
So even your mistake was correct. Kulam chachma sisa. Because that's where it gets back to. This really, the whole Nakuda, which is he brought from Kabbalah,
Right.
is and I think it's a pasuk, no? Good Ekev. Kulam chachma sisa.
Yeah. It's Psalms.
Psalms 104:24. So it's Borchi Nafshi. Is that where it's from?
Yeah, kulam chachmas is but it's from Baruch Nafshi.
Say it in the winter in Shabbos. And so you say it Rosh Chodesh coming up, Rosh Chodesh Shvat. We're in Shvat. Wait a minute. Another 2 weeks will be Rosh Chodesh Adar. So 2 weeks from today. So we're going, as the Beis Yisrael says, you go from Rosh Hashanah Le'ilanis according to Beis Shammai, Rosh Chodesh Shvat, to Rosh Hashanah Le'ilanis according to Beis Hillel, to Rosh Chodesh Adar, Aleph, Purim Kotan, to Adar Sheni, to Purim Gadol, to Rosh Chodesh Nisan, to Pesach, to Rosh Chodesh Iyar, to Pesach Sheni, to Rosh Chodesh Sivan, to Hag Torah. Yeah.
When I was a kid in yeshiva, they would go
journey
around.
of Hagim, Hashem, good times.
They would go around on Rosh Chodesh Adar.
Yeah.
We would, I don't remember exactly. It was like one of the classes. We would go around with the Rebbe. The Rebbe would take a bottle of schnapps.
Nice.
And we would run into every class, the middle of class, disrupt it, dance with the class, have a lchaim, and then leave. I was like in elementary school. I was like 4th grade.
Fun.
Have a lchaim.
Good times.
That's like Yiddishkeit.
Mishanik Masada.
Yeah, Mishanik. So I would come in, we'd dance. The Rabbeim would have a lchaim.
They need it more than
They needed it. Those Rabbeim. When I was a kid, all the Rabbeim, not all, but many, they were just like Holocaust survivors.
Wow.
These guys were like.
Can't really judge them. You know?
You can't judge them. No, it's very hard.
It was interesting how they became Malamdim because they were such broken kalim, like from what they went through.
Well, that's the thing. Originally, a lamdin was just like, in many ways, it
needs to be the most energized.
Yeah.
Like official Shechter style guy, like he's just got all these stories at the top of his lip and
nowadays
full of simcha and ayin tovah and energy to give love to the kids. And if he comes in, some broken guy who got beaten by a machshamam and he's like still recovering 30, 40, 50 years later, you know, from the trauma that he went through, and now he's passing it over to the kids. It's not really the ideal.
Not great. You know. I have a lot of great moments.
Well, at least they had a lchaim, Hashem. Yeah. And they managed to somehow go ahead, and you made it out somehow.
We made it out.
It's obviously part of your ticket to go through it.
And that's part of what we're learning too, is that like all of that, the same way the fingernails and the toenails are just as much as you know that applies like where it is one way, it's everywhere. Right? It's like that's like an Indian in like philosophy, but it's also true in Yiddishkeit. It's like where it's what you see in one place is the rule everywhere. Like there's like a profound way of saying that.
Yeah.
It's like what you see in the micro is what it is.
Yeah, the micro and the macro, very important.
And so it's the same thing here. Like, you know, that traumatic child that I had as being beaten in yeshiva was if you know, physically and spiritually.
Yeah.
That was part of it the same way everything else is. Even the like disgusting parts. Not disgusting, but the like what seems to be the
because my son,
fingernails
my
are
son,
like the grossest things.
My son in the army. My other sons also had some nisyonos in yeshiva, but my oldest son had it hardest for some reason.
Right.
And
he probably went to like a cheder.
He went to real chadarim and like real yishamis.
Smoked in class.
Yeah, things like that. So he has the fondest memories of his cheder days. Like he literally lights up when he talks about learning Gemara with this one Rav. He's actually mishpacha with the famous Eli Melech Biederman. He's one of his like cousins or something. So he had him as a Rebbe. But one time my son did some crazy stuff, so he could beat him up, literally. Yeah. And my son has still good memories about that guy. I even used to pay him to tutor my kids. Because he said like it was McGeely. Like he doesn't feel like the the Rebbe did something wrong. He needed it helped him. Right. He's in the army now. He's using it to serve Hashem. Right. So not every potch was was a trauma
Right.
therapy 20 years later, and now he's going to beat his wife. Chas Like it's gone a bit extreme, our generation of this, like,
for sure.
you like bang your toe and now you need to like go speak to someone about it.
Right.
And I'm not taking away the trauma that's created when someone gets a potch and a punner. Which one of my sons, he came home with a fist mark in his face.
Holy moly!
That Rebbe felt so bad, he quit his job, which was the best thing he could do, because he obviously wasn't coping, and he got a normal job, and I've seen him around a billion times happier.
Right.
Not meant to be a Malamed.
Yeah.
So much more energy and panasa, and once he was in the wrong job. He was doing it because he thought that probably was the easiest thing for him in that time. He had family or whatever. But now he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, and he's not punching any kids in the face. And I have in my nefesh ruach neshama. I could have destroyed a guy like that. He Baruch Hashem quit himself. I never went in vendettas against these people. It's just a waste of energy and time. I felt it. I felt very angry at the time, and I had to help my son. But all my kids, thank God, they've gone through these kind of things, but they've all come out stronger. And they all love Hashem, they love Torah, but did it take a toll a little bit? Probably, but it took a toll on me as parents, going through such a rough system. But there was a lot of positive, a lot of love, a lot of Avos Torah, a lot of Avos Hashem, a lot of Avos Yisrael, a lot. There's so much good. So it's just like, I'm going to take those 1 or 2 moments where they've suddenly got their B'tuch L'mi and they're in debt, like you can't imagine, and their wife's screaming at them on the phone and they can't pay their bills, the bank's closed.
Kids.
And then they've got like 30 kids in the class and everyone's going nuts and they're all wired on sugar because some reason people think it's good to give kids sugar nowadays in every form, and they're all wired and up all night because of the way life's gone. They're all wired like crazy people, these kids. So and then comes this teacher and he's at the end of his wits, and it's just this negative circle. You got to break out of it somehow. Yeah. So I think this whole sugar business needs to be redone. Stop drugging up the kids. This candy story is just a proper Maisa Yetzer. They used to give nuts. Nuts is much healthier. It's got protein in it. Yeshiva? They used to back in the day. That was what it says in the halacha. You Pesach, you give nuts out to your kids. I used to give nuts to my kids and dark chocolate. I didn't give them sweets. I'm going to have some wild nutter at my table. I'll give them dark chocolate, which is pure, just chocolate, Sour Patch Kids. Yeah, you give that to them and then nuts. And now you're going to have to deal with it for the next few hours. And then they have a downer. They're like druggies. Why do we do this to ourselves? Think about it.
The same in Yodim with screens.
And also physically, they're growing up with all these chemicals from who knows where, coming into their body day after day. There's no purity in that. There's no good nutrients in that stuff. Anyway.
You know who likes soda?
Rebbe
Shamayach.
I don't have sodas at my table.
Rebbe Shamayach only drinks soda.
I don't have any. So,
my house also is soda.
Not every place is doing healthy things.
I found that fascinating.
My Rebbe generally used to only give out maize soda and water. For some reason, I've noticed other sodas appearing, but he used to only do that. And I agree with that. I think that's the right thing. Get rid of the sugar. Nefesh ruach neshama of the ignorant. At least my coffee, these days I don't even put sugar in most of the time. Nefesh ruach neshama of the ignorant, at least where we come into being. The sweetness is going to come from within. This is TuBishevat. Look at the Paris, how sweet they are. You don't need to go bring extra sugar. Nevertheless, to become souls at the lowest level, the least worthy. They remain bound, united with a wonderful, mighty unity with original essence, named the extension of Chochmah. Ki nikis chayas nefesh ruach neshama shel am haaretz, he v'nefesh ruach neshama shel tzadikim v'chachamim Roshi b'nei Yisrael shadoram. And then the life force is coming, from the ignorant, or drawn from the nefesh r'shur neshama of the tzadikim, the Rosh. We're all amei kulam tzadikim, we're all connected. We're all united. V'zeh yuvan ma'ima Rebbe Seminal pasuk. The dafkabo, you have a pasuk dafkabo. To be davik to tzadikim, it's a chi of deraisa. It's a mitzvah deraisa to be davik to tzadikim. Because how can you davik to Hashem? By davik to Tam Chochem. Shekol hadevik b'talmid chacham, ma'ala alav hakasav ki'ilu b'davik b'shechina mamish. And this is beferish. It's brought in the Torah in Devarim. This is beferish. This is not like, once again, Panemius Torah. This is niglas of Torah. This is derisa. Torah written in Sefer Devarim. That you davik to a talmid chacham. It's not only a Chassidim have a Rebbe. Everyone needs to be davik to a talmid chacham.
Yeah.
You join yourself with a time, cleave to him. How? By cleaving to him, you're cleaving to the Shekhinah Mamish.
People don't even realize that they are Davik. I think people are Davik, but they don't even know that they're Davik. Some people are like, I don't have a Rebbe, but you close your eyes, there's somebody.
Yeah. It's a bit scary, but sometimes, like my Rebbe was giving Mussar last night. Don't speak during the shmooze. You come in and you speak. It's a Rosh Hashanah Ilanis. It's a day for tshuva. He was like fire. I didn't stay for the whole thing. After he gave me the bottle of wine, and my wife said she needs to go home because she was driving me back, so I left. But that was fire. And yesterday in the shir as well, the shir yesterday, the Rav was saying like, "Don't you ask me to done mincha?"
Right. That's funny.
Well, he doesn't need to done mincha also.
Right.
Like you're so worried. It's escapism. They're just going back to what they're comfortable with, which is when's mincha.
Right. Industrial Judaism.
Yeah. Instead of facing what's in front of them, that there's been this like Holocaust in the Holy Land.
Right.
Which is like, it's too hard to bear, so you just talk about mincha.
Right. Yeah.
Or kashrus or something else.
Yomi.
Yeah. Back to, anything but what's in front of us. So that's the Talmid Chacham of Shlomo or of Tolna Rebbe reminding us we're here for a reason.
Right.
This Tish is not a party, yeah? The going to Biri is not a party. It's the same. That's what I like about Tzaddikim. They in a true sense, they're so real, they're so true. The Tolna Rebbe is sitting in his Tish. For him, it would be the same as Shlomo taking this chevra down to Biri or wherever they went. Why? Why is it the same thing? Because they're both serving Hashem. And they're both saying, take it seriously. Look at, now this is a moment. It's TuBishevat Tish. It's not a party.
Right.
It's a time to come close to Hashem and do tshuva. Just like down there, it was time to face this Holocaust that happened in Eretz Yisrael. Obviously a smaller version, but the small Holocaust that happened in Eretz Yisrael, and in a way it's worse because it's Eretz Kodesh in that sense. There shouldn't happen this in our own land.
Right.
It's like a mess up that this happened b'chlal.
Right, it's like a break in the matrix.
Yeah.
The story of when I think it was Antiochus who killed. No. Was it they killed? Who was the Kohen or the Navi that died in the base of Mikdash?
So Nebuchadnezzar, he was a general from Bavel.
Right.
He killed the Kohen Zechariah, and his blood just kept pouring and pouring. It was read about it on Tisha B'Av.
Boiling, right?
Boiling, yeah. Just boiling. It was always as like a simon in the base of Mikdash.
It was like some of it's like it was a bazayan in the base of Mikdash, but it was like also like an Eretz Yisrael.
Yeah, in the holiest of holies.
You don't really see. I mean, you do when you look into the history.
Yeah, it's embarrassing what's going on. I said right now, Am Yisrael can give a bracha to the world. Why? Because we've been embarrassed publicly.
Right.
We have koach and bracha to ourselves. Like
this
busha to Hashem. I mean, but that means we have to process it silently. That's the only way the bracha works.
Process it what?
Silently.
Silently, yeah.
That's the key word. We were talking about it yesterday in our podcast with Yosef Aaron. He said a deep concept that silence is a blessing. He quoted some girl that came for Shabbos. Yeah, there were some deep souls there on the Shabbos table. So I was there afterwards. One of them connects to my family a lot. So this soul was saying, be silent is a blessing. It's what she thanks Hashem for every day, that she has the ability to be silent. So that silence really does answer up more than most of the words we say.
Right.
Ki aydei devei ketam chachomim kashuat nefesh ruach and neshama sha'am aretz v'cheres ha'muhosan arishon shorosham v'chochma elah. If we're attaching to the scholars, the nefesh ruach and neshama, the ignorant, are bound up, united with their original essence, their root in the supernal wisdom. Shu yisbach chachmaso echad v'hu hamada. And here is wisdom of one. Here's the knowledge. Pashayim marodim b'talmidei chachomim. And for those who willfully sin and rebel against the Torah sages, there's loads of them. Before Mashiach comes, it's a big Nisoyin. I mean, I don't know if they're Peshayim, truth is. They don't even know why they're doing it. Whoever got them on that path originally, like it must have been the Reform movement or the Haskalah, I don't know. I don't see it, they're coming from such big wisdom that they're rebelling with intention. They just don't know.
Right.
But back in the day, they knew. Yanik is nefesh ruach neshama shalahem b'chinas achraim shal nefesh ruach and neshamas talmidei chachamim. And those guys are from the hind part of the Talmid Chachamim. Whatever that means, like the backward, they're getting the external aspect.
Right.
So that's why they're turning away from him. They're not really tuning into the Panemius. They're not learning panim b'panim, like Moshe Weinberg always says to me whenever I see him, to learn upon him in Yerushalayim. He always says that because that's what kind of the vacancy you want to a person. You want to look at them in the face.
Yeah.
You don't want to looking at their back. Yeah?
No, for sure not.
Looking at your face.
That's why the Rebbe always sits facing everyone.
Yeah. And you look at the Rebbe's upon him. Imagine if he turned around. Imagine the chassidim should be crying at such a moment.
Right.
Like he put his back to all of them.
Right.
Except when you're davening to Hashem, then he definitely should. Because now we're all turning to Hashem.
Right.
At the Tish, he starts sitting, he starts eating to his back to them and talking to her. That would be like that's like he's angry at them or something.
Right. That'd be a different religion.
Oh yeah, I don't know what that is. Anyway, the point is the upon him, the face to face. That's the vacancy we have. But they're still connected. That's the point. The Balatani is saying these guys are still connected. Right. They're still getting their nurture, their uniqueness and nefesh ruach neshama from the Talmid Chachomim, because then that's how you davik to the Shechina. Right. They're just getting it from the back end of it, the behind part. They're not getting it straight.
Right.
Which is important to realize. In the end, everyone's connecting to the source. It's just how you're connecting. Right. That's what Joey Rosenfeld said a good thing when he came here, thanks to you. And it awakened
He's very connected to Rebbe Shamayach.
Yeah, but it awakened in me Nakuda, because he wasn't talking about his Rebbe, because I had years by his Rebbe before he was famous and loads of people there. And I used to go there and I learned his Torahs and his Svarim and connect to his Hasidim, his Talmidim. But and he himself is connected, but it was easier to connect to, it's more direct. But anyway, what Joey Rosenfeld said himself, he said that you have to get the Tzaddikim to work for you. And I never thought about it like so clearly. He said it very like explicitly. You have to really push them to be your shliach. And then I started increasing a little bit my phone calls to the Rebbe. And then when I came to his tish last night, I was sitting there and I was thinking, well, I'm going to leave in another half an hour. So I've only got half an hour of Torah from the Rebbe. Most of it was Musa. And the good part, I didn't get the fruits because I couldn't stay that long. Oh. Yeah, I got a bit of salmon from the Rebbe and a bit of lchaims. Yeah, nice. I got, but I didn't get the fruits. I didn't get the hot stuff, all the hot meat. No. It's on a plate. It's Masuda. The told the Rebbes everything's very clean.
I used to eat shrine. I used to go to all the Rebbes when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I used to see the Bub of the Rebbe.
You know what that is? That you have a portion of their light in you. Yeah. It's not.
I do. I some of the Rebbes I remember seeing, it was like the original
Shlomo, a big tzaddik.
I remember as a kid going to him. My grandfather was like went
through the Holocaust and most of Nefesh, Save Am Yisrael.
I remember like going up.
Built a Chassidus, huge Chassidus now, Bob.
Yeah, and so I remember going up there like on one of his tishim. I think it was on like Simchas B'Ish Shoeva or something.
Wow.
Like tons of people. My grandfather brought me up.
Wow.
So just like his face was like just on fire. It was like just art.
Oh, yeah.
And he like.
It's MS.
Yeah. I don't remember if he gave out shrine there, but I remember eating shrine with other Rebbes.
Yeah, I definitely got shrine from a lot of Rebbes.
Told us Avram Yitzchak.
Yeah, I got shrine from him once. I just thought he sent me once falafel. I walked in farfel. Farfel is like the this like like Mazonas sort of like Pita Tim's kind of stuff. And I walked in literally from the street. He saw me walk in and he said to his gabbai, send him. And I literally had, within 2 seconds of walking up, I'm handing a thing of farfel. And it means you should not be fallen. That's what it's in Yiddish. That's the reason why they eat it. Should never be fallen. I really needed that day. Wow. It was like Ruach HaKodesh. I literally walked in, he saw me, and there was a few hundred people there. As I walked in, he like sent me the Shirayim. It was like perfect timing. So, and exactly what it was perfect as well. Yeah. But so last night, but then what the Rebbe did before he started speaking, he said, I'm announcing Laser Goldschmidt. I'm reefing, like I'm announcing for Laser Goldschmidt. It came from a frat. He always says a frat. And he said to the Gabbai, Zevi Feigenbaum. He's a Feigenbaum's cousin. Yeah, Aaron Feigenbaum's cousin. He's also Talmid Chacham. They're good people, the Feigenbaum. So he says to the Gabbai Feigenbaum, he says, give him the bottle of wine. Wow. So he said, where he's sitting? He says, yeah. So suddenly comes, I'm all the way at the back, because I was, not going to stand at the front, sit at the front, I'm not anyone important. So he comes and finds me at the back, gives me the bottle of wine, and I come home with it. I got a nice geschmack bottle of wine. And I'm going to make a lchaim. A frat. His thoughts on a frat is...
can't imagine.
He had a sister. He had a sister here. Her name is Chava Bracha, and there's a shul and a frat that's named after. It's called Shalom Bracha, named after the second name of his sister. So he comes every year and does a yahrzeit.
He comes here?
Yeah, every year and does a Seudah, yahrzeit Seudah in the shul.
Wow, where is it?
For his sister.
Remote?
It's by where I live, by Dekel. Look, that's the bottle he gave.
Okay.
Tepperberg.
That's Gewalt.
Yeah, it's a good bottle. So, Baruch Hashem, I'm going to put that as the cover for this. L'chaim, we should be zocher to good TuBishevat and to the bakers to the MS.
Gewalt, amen.